Sometime back, several days, maybe a week ago, I'm not sure how long, I made a couple of videos about the economic impact stimulus payment. One was for activating the debit card and the other was for transferring the money to my checking account. Some people have asked questions since then, so this video is going to address at least one of those questions. The other questions I may get into with this video or might do separate videos for it. So anyway, the first one I want to deal with here is I'm switching to this second computer. In a Google search, I searched for economic stimulus distribution status. The question that came up is, why haven't I received my payment yet? So this is going to take you to a place where you can check on the status of your payment. So once we put in that search criteria, you may be able to change the wording around, but what we're looking for is this irs.gov website. So I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to do a right click and open it in a new tab just in case we want to come back to this search results. So then I come up here and click on the tab for that new tab that we just launched. There's a whole bunch of information here. You may find answers to other questions in here, but what we're really after here is this button that says Get My Payment. Click on that once, and if you watch this tab up here, you'll see that it is going to another page. There's that circle going around, and this page looks pretty similar, but it is indeed different. Here's another button, Get My Payment. So the information we're looking for, we haven't got to it yet. We need to click on this button, Get My Payment. And then we get this message. It looks a little scary at first, but you are authorized to go check on your stimulus payment, and it's a government system for authorized use only. That doesn't mean government employees. It's just telling you it is a U.S. government system and is for authorized use only, which in this case is you. So click OK. And then here it's asking for your 9-digit social security number, your date of birth, your street address, and your zip code. So to fill in that information, I'm going to blur the screen. I'm going to put in my own information. When I type in, let me show you this part. When I type in the social security number, it doesn't display at all. So I'm typing it in without any hyphens. You can probably include the hyphens, I don't know. And then I'm going to blur it for the other ones, because when I move the cursor to the other fields, as soon as I start typing, it'll do a drop-down box offering me a choice, because my browser knows my birth date. So as soon as I typed a first character, it's showing me the rest of my birth date. So I'm just going to click on that. Then I'm going to click in the street address field, and it gives me a drop-down list of street addresses, and I'm going to click on the correct one there, and that also fills in the zip code. And then I'm going to click another button over here, because what I normally do on my channel, I have the capability of blurring different sections of the screen. So here I have blurred out just those fields of information that I don't want to display to you. And I do this to point out that the normal function of my channel is to help people with computer issues, help them solve problems on their computers, or teach them how to do things. And in doing that, we're recording a video that will be on YouTube. So I wanted to show you that I can blur sections of the screen to keep your private information private. So we'll go back to this screen, and the next thing is that we're going to click on that continue button. So I'm clicking the continue button now. I still have that blurring on, but this next screen I don't need blurred, so I'm going to turn the blurring off and show you what this shows. The payment 1 status, we scheduled your payment to be mailed May 22nd, 2020. So that was the first stimulus payment. By the way, today is January 27th, 2021. So they mailed it to the address we have on file for you. We will mail you a letter with additional information on this payment. If you need additional help or do not receive your payment, please visit our frequently asked questions page. Now we're going to go look at that in a minute, because that answers some other questions. So even if you don't find a satisfactory answer here, you may go into here to find answers to your questions. The payment to status. We scheduled your payment to be mailed on January 6th, 2021. Again, today is January 27th, so that already happened. We will mail you a letter with the additional information on this payment if you need additional help, so on. Now, the payment number 1 came to me by check. Payment number 2 came to me by debit card. My understanding is that some people are going to get an automatic deposit to their bank accounts, or they're getting the debit card for this second payment. As far as I know, they might be getting the check. Now, certainly, if you didn't provide a bank account for your last tax return, then they're not going to do a electronic credit to your bank account. I don't think my bank account was associated with my tax return, so that probably explains why I got the debit card. So, but anyway, this is where you get information about the status of your payment. So now let's go look at this frequently asked questions page. I suspect either one of those will get to this same page. So as you scroll down here, you see a bunch of questions. These ones with the plus signs, I think they are probably the most likely going to turn up your answer. I didn't receive a direct deposit yet. Will I get a second economic payment? So you click on that and it expands to give you some information about that. I'm not going to read through them all because they all take quite a while to read through, but they're only a few paragraphs each. So these questions I think are pretty effective. So then another question that was asked, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and do them here. Let me see. I think I've got one of these pages already set up for, let's see, where is this? Let's check. No, not that one. Okay, so here's one that one person in comments on my other videos said that their payment, when they went through the processing that I showed on my first 2 videos, their amount was going to be less than $600, and they feared that it might be a scam because it wasn't the $600. So I thought, okay, well, who gets less than the $600? So this Washington Post article here is really useful. The way I did this was a Google search for who gets less than $600 stimulus check. There's probably other ways you could word that question, but this one that has a result on the WashingtonPost.com is really useful. So again, I'm going to right click and choose open a new tab. That's just kind of my habit. You don't have to do that. You could just left click on it. So here, calculate how much you would get from the 600 or more coronavirus checks. And we scroll down here to this section right here. This is where you can find out how much you're going to get, or get an explanation for why you received an amount different than $600. So here by default this has what was your adjusted gross income in 2019. By default it has $75,000, and in here we have 0 for how many children under age 17 did you claim. And then when you click calculate, it tells you right down here you are likely getting a $600 stimulus payment. Keep in mind that this website, this web page is hosted by WashingtonPost.com, not IRS. So it's not really authoritative. So let's suppose if you click married instead of single and then hit recalculate, what happens? Well, you're likely getting a $1,200 stimulus. How about if you're head of household? So I'll click on that and click recalculate. You're likely getting a $600. Now I'm going to go back to single, and I'm going to change this number from, instead of 75,000, we'll say 80,000. So your adjusted gross income in 2019 was 80,000 and no children. Recalculate. You're likely getting a $350 stimulus payment. So as your income level goes up, you're less qualified to get the stimulus payment. So if we change that a little bit, what if we go 79,000? And then recalculate. we get a $400 stimulus payment. So you can see those variations. Single, married, head of household, what's your adjusted gross income for 2019, and how many children. That should give you an explanation of why you got the amount that you received or what amount that you're likely to receive. What was another question? Oh, addresses. That was one. Let me get back here to those questions. Somebody asked about they said, excuse me, they said that their address was wrong that IRS had. I guess they moved and didn't do a change of address or something. So let's come down to missing payments. Here's one. My address has changed or is incorrect. What can I do to change or correct it to receive my payment? So we click on that. And it says, get my payment won't allow you to change your address. If your payment can't be delivered to you for any reason and is returned to the IRS, you'll need to claim the recovery rebate credit on your 2020 return. And I looked at some of these other questions, and they're basically the same thing. If IRS is unable to deliver to you for whatever reason, their information is incorrect, you've changed bank accounts, you're not at the same address anymore, you didn't file a change of address with IRS, the only thing you can do is file that recovery rebate credit on your 2020 tax return. Now, there is another thing you can do. It's too late now, I think, to do it for the second stimulus payment because they've all gone out. They were supposed to go out by, what was it, January 15th, I think it was. But there may be another payment coming. So if you want the next payment to get to you more reliably, then let's see, where is that one? There is a form that you can file to update your address with IRS, and that would be effective for the next stimulus payment. Do a Google search for how to change my address with the IRS. Well, let me say that a little bit better. The way that I did it was update address IRS online. Let me go show you that. Update address IRS online, and come down here to update my information, Internal Revenue Service. I'm going to right click on that and choose open a new tab, then come to that and address change options. If you need to notify IRS, click on that. And in here it shows that you can, when filing your tax return, you can do it. But if you're trying to change your address so that next time they come out with an economic stimulus payment, it will get sent to you, you should use this form 8822, change of address. And that should get your new address on record with the IRS. So I hope this was useful. If you would like to request a free computer support session with me, send an email to DougBetts at LiveWindowsTraining.com. Give me an idea what you'd like help with, and we'll put it together. All right, have a great day. Hope that was useful. See you later. Goodbye.